If you're in business or in marketing, you know that the wave of the future and how your bread will be buttered moving forward will depend on digital marketing. That is why, according to the February edition of the CMO Survey, marketers are happy to allocate a total of 57% of their budget to digital marketing activities in 2022 and are eager to increase that amount of spending by 16% by the end of 2023, according to the Harvard Business Review. Ahmaad M. Green is an online marketer and entrepreneur who loves helping others by using his experience to help them achieve their dreams. He's been in the space for over 5 years and he's assisted his clients in generating over $10 million in revenue with a focus on lead generation, content creation, optimization, and PPC management. For Green, his faith in God plays a major role in why he wants to make sure that he lives a life of service and paying it forward for others. He joined me this week to have an in-depth conversation about online marketing and optimization, his faith, family, baseball, and so much more. I'm Kevin McShann. Let's have this conversation. Ahmaad, if you're ready, I'll take a moment to welcome you to the program, my friend. And I'm super excited to chat with you all about online marketing. Great to see you this afternoon. And thank you for a few minutes, buddy.
No problem. I'm so glad to be on with you.
Absolutely. Now, Ahmaad, I know that you spend your day jobs helping online marketers and entrepreneurs sort of live out their business dreams. So I'm wondering if you can tell me about all the good work that you do, my friend.
For sure, for sure. So right now, I am helping online coaches and coaches in general and agency owners be able to learn how to get a bag and how to secure the bag by getting more high ticket clients. Starting off and having more high ticket clients is going to do wonders for anybody's business, just being able to actually start at the top of the market and then work themselves down.
Yeah, and what do you think are sort of the keys to a successful online marketing strategy?
Yeah, I would say that's a loaded question. It does depend on the person. And that's why in our program, we try to put together exactly the marketing strategy for a business. But I will walk through essentially everything, the framework that we walk people through too, which is BAG. Our BAG formula and framework helps people to walk through what the strategy needs to be. But the best thing that you need to do at the very first beginning, because BAG is an acronym for us, and that B stands for build an irresistible offer. If we help you build that irresistible offer, that'll help you to actually charge more, get clients who are ready to buy, and also get more people inside of your business who are ready and willing to do the work to be able to have great success. The second step from there is we help them attract sales opportunities. So working through what is going to be the best way specifically for people to actually attract more and more people, to gain more trust, and then to monetize and have those sales opportunities inside of their business where they can actually sell more and have more opportunities to be able to influence people and to be able to spend some time solving other people's problems. Then after that, we go to generate the system. So then we also help them place people inside of their business to be able to handle sales calls, to handle fulfillment, handle processing. And that's just going to essentially help you to go to another stratosphere. But the best thing that I would say for online marketing strategy, once you have a really great offer, that is going to be able to help you have really great success in online marketing, because people want to be attached to something that's irresistible. They want to be attached to a result specifically.
Yeah, absolutely. And Ahmaad, tell me, I'm curious to ask you about what do you think it takes to produce sort of engaging and thought-provoking content that people will come back for?
Wow, that's a really good question. What's super cool about that, I literally was just talking with my wife about the different things that I've been studying from some of the top YouTubers in the world. It all starts with the click. Like, you want to be able, and it's the same thing you want to do with ads and social posts and all that different stuff. You want to be able to stop people scroll, get their attention with a really enticing thumbnail. When we're talking about specifically YouTube or Facebook, or an enticing creative altogether, right? And then you want to have a curiosity laden title or headline or something like that that's going to draw people in and say, I want to know more about this. And then once you do get into the actual content, you want to be able to have content that actually brings people in, that you want to start with building stakes, building anticipation for what people are about to receive. You build more and more anticipation for people. They're going to be more likely to spend more time with you inside of that content, right? And so after you build those stakes, you ask people questions, you help them actually once you have a story, you want to be able to also let it be planted inside of their mind. So when I say that, I'm saying that when you have a great story, you want them to be able to see themselves inside of that story as well. And so doing things like that can really help you have very engaging content, because I can go down the list of what is a really great way to do this, to do that, and go through the specifics. But if I can tie it to a story for you, it makes a lot more sense. Case in point here, I was talking with a friend of mine, and he was struggling in his business to be able to get more clients, to get his clients to actually pay him more time. And so I told him the story. I said, hey, when I was about 9 years old, one day, me and my dad, we went to the barbershop, and I got my hair cut first. I'm sitting down in the chair. My dad's in the barber chair getting his haircut. And this guy walks in through the door, and begins to like try to make sales on, it was around Father's Day. I remember this specifically because he was trying to sell Father's Day gifts to people inside of the barbershop. And as he went around the room, you could see more people saying no. And you could see him getting ready to leave. And I could see him feeling dejected as he's walking out the door. And I'm 9 years old at the time, but something just brought up that in my mind for me to share with him. And it's really the heart behind everything that I do too, as well. As like, I want to help people as much. But what I said to him, I was like, hey, have you gone to any salons today? He was like, no, I haven't. I was like, yeah, you probably should, because I never seen any man buy his own Father's Day gift. Everybody in the barbershop was quiet. And just like like my dad was like smiling and laughing, because he knows I've been known to say impactful stuff at random very often. The guy was like, you know what? Yeah, I'll do that. And the reason why I tell that story to my friend is because I'm telling him this story because I'm showing him sometimes you can have really great products, but when you place it in the wrong market, you don't have the results that you're looking for. So that's a really cool way to have some really engaging content.
Yeah, absolutely. It's all about, it's the old real estate adage, isn't it? With online marketing, location, right? It all ties back to location, right?
Yeah, location and traffic. The more you could get traffic, because it's almost like online marketing and online businesses mirror sometimes traditional and brick and mortar businesses, in the sense that where do we get the word online traffic from? We get that from the traditional brick and mortar sense. You had a location, but people won't stop if you're in a location where you don't have a lot of traffic or you don't have any way to get them there, right? So when we do have online businesses, or we have an agency, or we have a coach, we need to be able to pull people in with a really great offer to draw in some traffic to what we have. You need to find a really great way to create that content to draw people in and make more traffic.
Yeah, now let's take a moment to talk about optimization. I know that you've generated over $10 million in revenue, so you're the perfect person to ask this question. Once you have what you consider engaging a piece of content, how do you sort of maximize the revenue value and optimization as well? How do you optimize content?
For sure. So when we're talking about ad campaigns and we're talking about generating the most revenue, and we're talking about specifically like also getting a return on your ad spend, one of the best ways that you can actually get a return on your ad spend is sell higher tickets products. I like to call them higher value because people should get value for them paying high ticket, but high ticket offers is going to help you to have a higher return on ad spend. It's much harder. I had a client one time I was working with them, and most of their products was in between $5 to $15, something around there. And they came to me because they really wanted to scale their advertising campaigns, but it's very hard to do that with that price point just because of the nature of certain traffic sources. You're not going to see, a sub-dollar CPA for you to actually get a 5x return on ad spend. But one thing that I suggested to them was that if you actually bundle, because everything was separate inside of their products, if you could actually find a way to increase the average order value, which in that sense, they won't be able to really do like a super duper high ticket unless they do an offer where they coach people how they built together their e-commerce business. But if inside of their e-commerce business, if they took the products that they had, made a bigger bundle, increased the value so that people would pay, you would have a higher average order value, then you can actually scale that up because now you have more of a higher offer for people to get. And then you have the portion where your cost per acquisition is less than the actual price of what people will be paying.
Yeah, absolutely. And Ahmaad, I'm curious to ask you your opinion on traditional paid advertisement and paying for like marketing versus authentic like grassroots marketing. For instance, just wanting things to grow organically. So tell me your preference and your opinion on traditional marketing versus paid marketing as well. Do you think there's a big difference there?
Yeah, I think there's a difference. There's always a difference, but it also depends on, again, like where are you? If you're at 0 or 10K or 20K, there may be some things that you may need to do a little bit more of. You may need to do a little bit more of organic. Or if you're looking at a space where you can actually scale, then yeah, I would say you would go with more paid advertising and less of the traditional. But when we specifically talk about traditional, I do shy away from like radio and TV spots, most likely with some offers. But you more likely, just like what I'm doing here, like being able to be on somebody else's podcast is also delivering a level of organic content, which is pretty cool because a lot of people don't utilize the fact that you can actually, instead of building your own podcast or building your own YouTube channel, you also can hop on other people's YouTube channel. One thing I was talking with a friend of mine recently was that a lot of times we hear a lot of, and I don't want to say gurus because I think people use that word to kind of downplay other people's expertise and information. But I will say is a lot of people who are in the major league that you see talking about information, sometimes we don't always have to do what they say, but we can do what we see them do. And it's not that what they say is inaccurate, but what they do is very impactful. So sometimes you can actually see this throughout many people where you will see them and they have their offers, but they actually go to different YouTube. They're on different people's YouTube channels, borrowing their audiences. They're being able to give higher level content, being able to showcase and get themselves out into different markets and different audiences so they can bring more audiences back to themselves, which is a great way is to get on different podcasts or also being able to do guest blogging or guest webinars with other people.
Yeah, and Ahmaad, you said something interesting. I just wanted to circle back to you not traditionally using radio and TV spots when you can. So tell me why it's important to you to shy away from that traditional marketing method.
Now it has gotten a little bit more advanced, but when I first started, there was not a lot of ability to be able to track with those audience, who is in that audience that you're targeting, and then what they are doing after they see the ads. So reason why I really like, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, all these different platforms and ads is because I can dive deep into who the audience is that I'm targeting specifically, more so than just people who may be listening to this or that. But then I also can actually see the actions that they take. So I believe that every single company needs to be more of a data company and a media company. You need to have great content, but you also need to have great data on your target audience and your audience so that you can have more high efficiency inside of your business and your advertising campaigns.
Yeah, and since you brought it up, so I'm going to ask you, how important is it when you do online marketing to have the capability to interpret your analytics and really make sure that you're getting the data and the information out of the analytics to help you grow your online presence?
For sure. So definitely that is a really great question because you need to be able to learn how to analyze the data and not get stuck into the space of paralysis by analysis. You don't want to be where you're stuck. You're looking at so many numbers. I was working with a few companies and they would look at so many numbers that actually doesn't move the needle as much as I would say in the actual, if the actual objective and strategy is for whatever it is. So case in point, if your strategy is for conversions, impressions is great, but you do want to look more at different analytic numbers to be able to tell what is really going on. These numbers put like impressions, all this stuff, it does matter, but you need to look at more things than just that. You need to know what data should I be looking at and what numbers and where should they be at that is going to make my campaign successful. I could get a lot in depth with that, but yeah, you want to know analytics is very important, but you also want to know which ones to look at, what numbers should they be at, and focusing on those because those can be the key drivers to your success.
Yeah, absolutely. And tell me about, I'm curious to ask you where your entrepreneurial spirit comes from. I know that it's important to you to drive your spirit by helping other people, and I know that faith is also important to you. So tell me, where does your entrepreneurial spirit and life philosophy come from?
For sure. So I'll tell you another quick story too. So that story that I told you about being in the barbershop and that person who came in to come sell some Father's Day gifts. If I actually go back a little bit, even in just that year, and I'll go back a little bit more in just a bit, but in that year, I remember I was in Sunday school. No, I wasn't in Sunday school. I was in children's church at church, and we were learning about Solomon in the Bible, and I was super excited because I remember that he, as he came into power, he said this prayer to God and was asking for wisdom, and it just stuck out to me as a young man at the time that he didn't like, and then God said this even afterwards. He was like, you didn't ask for money. You didn't ask for fame. You asked to be able to be wise, to be able to steward the assignment that it has been given to you. And I thought that was so impactful. And then God was like, also, not only am I going to give you that wisdom and that understanding to be able to shepherd these people, but I'm also going to give you wealth. I'm also going to give you fame. I'm also going to let people know because of your heart. And so I went home and I prayed that prayer. And it just was something that was impactful to me because even going back, backwards some years before that, one of the first verses, at least the one that I can remember vividly that has impacted me in my life has been um, it's in Proverbs, and my favorite one is a good man stores up an inheritance for his children's children. So why is that impactful to me? Because at a young age, when I was about 3 to about 4 years old, my grandpa passed, my mom's dad passed. And I would hear, as I was growing up, I would hear so many stories about him being an entrepreneur, owning a restaurant in Savannah, and even tracking back the fact that he had businesses even in the Jim Crow era and was able to withstand that type of era and everything as a black man in America. So it was just super profound for me, and I always wanted to continue on that legacy and enhance it because when I came of age, I didn't get to see the restaurant. I didn't get to see that because he passed and he already had sold it like years before I was even born. So being able to go back to that scripture and say a good man stores up an inheritance for his children. I have started since I read that when I was about 6 or 7 years old. I have been on a mission to live my life for others, not for myself, to store up inheritance for my children's children so that when they become of age, they don't have to start from zero like I did. They don't have to start from where I started from. They can start from a leg up and being able to actually continue and enhance the legacy that has been built from years and years of hard work inside of the family. And even going fast forward into when I was 10 years old, October, my dad gave his life to Christ when I was about 8 or 9. And then he had his first sermon when I was 10 years old. His first sermon was from my favorite scripture. I think it's on my hat here, Matthew 25:14-30, where that is the parable of the talents. And what's so cool about that, because it talks about money, but it talks about money in that parable. But of course, we know it has more of a spiritual success and spiritual meaning to it. But when you think about just specifically the talent. So as a young kid, I'm thinking, oh, must mean talent, like gift and different stuff. But actually in that day, it was a weight, it was a measurement, right? So anything that God gives us has a weight to it. So even that one servant inside of that parable who's hid he actually didn't have just one. It wasn't like he just had a penny or a dollar or something like that. He had about 72 pounds worth of whatever it could have been. Could have been gold, could have been silver. It doesn't specify. But it also doesn't specify because what God gives us has weight to it. It's not just like one means, it has value. So knowing that from my life, I wanted to always be a person who was thinking about other people, who provided value, who multiplied value when I got it, and who also was a person who was looking after God and looking to God for success in my life and looking for him for wisdom because he said he will freely give it to you if you ask. And so that is why I have that entrepreneurial spirit in a nutshell.
Yeah, there's multiple ways to pay it forward, isn't there?
Yeah.
Absolutely. But just before we move on, I see that you had a lot of brains down on you today, buddy. So tell me about how you thought their season went and whether you've been following the rest of the baseball playoffs, bud.
Yeah, man, I was super sad. We got bounced out in their first series this year. I really thought we could. I wasn't expecting another World Series win specifically, but we had a chance. We had a really good chance this year. I think that's just the breaks of it. I'm super excited that at least last year we were able to get that World Series championship, but super sad. But hopefully this is just a building block. I think the Atlanta Braves are going to be good for some years with the young talent that we do have. So I'm at least excited about that, but sad that we went out already in this playoff. So thanks for asking.
Yeah, they've at least poured the foundation, haven't they?
Mm-hmm.
Hey, yeah, and back to sort of the online marketing portion of our discussion. I'm also curious to ask you your thoughts on how to build sort of sustainable diversification and consistency in online marketing?
For sure. Well, you know what's cool? The Bible also tells us about that too. And I was just talking with somebody about that. It's something that we show people in how to get a bag, actually. And it's in Ecclesiastes 11, Ecclesiastes 11, 1 and 2. And I'm a paraphrase. The scripture is basically saying, send your grain across the water, in a few days profit will return. And then verse 2 says, divide your investments between 7, even 8, because you never know what calamity may fall upon the land. So what's cool about that is that when you think about, all right, Ecclesiastes 11:1, send your grain. Where does grain come from? It comes from a seed. A seed has to be nurtured, has to be cultivated. So what you have in your business has to be nurtured and has to be cultivated to be able to turn into a irresistible offer and a product that people will want. So when you do go across the seas, you can actually create a revenue stream, a stream of income that will come back and forth, that will actually create profit inside of your business. So the first thing, you want to be profitable. So how can we be profitable? The best way about that is to have a really great offer that we can scale. You want to have something that is irresistible to the marketplace. So when it does go to when you do start promoting it and start to getting yourself out there, that people are excited and ready to take on what you have to offer. So in the online marketing space, a lot of that can seem like, you hear Russell Brunson talk about this, other people. You want to build an audience and you want to be able to have a great list. That's the data component of it. And you're going to create a great list by having great offers and having great products. And then fulfilling on those great offers and great products is going to be able to help you have a name inside of the marketplace that people will recognize, because they know goodness and good works come from what you have.
Yeah, absolutely. And tell me all about the client attraction machine, because I know that's a tool that you use as well.
For sure. So the client attraction machine is something that we also help people inside the our coaching program, being able to have and it's so funny. I wish I had the video right here, but I was scrolling on YouTube recently, and I saw this video. This guy was showcasing what was called a perpetual motion device, right? Excuse me. And that perpetual motion device, it was like he put this little ball in, and it would go around in circles and then drop down and then come right back to that same spot, go around in circles, go down. And it just would happen over and over again. Like nothing would stop it. And the reason why we help people create a client attraction machine is because you want to consistently have clients and be attracting clients. I'll give you a quick other story. A friend of ours as well, he was coming to me and he was asking, we were talking about his business, and he was saying before the pandemic, he had about 6 to 7, 8 clients, but he was spending so much time fulfilling on that when the pandemic hit and everybody dropped all at the same time, he was left with no business anymore because the clients went away. And so that's why I was sharing with him that you want to have a machine, a client attraction machine that runs even when you're not running. That's the beautiful thing about being able to create a great offer and then attract sales opportunities with a really great advertising, really great promotion, and really great funnel, so that people can consistently come in and come inside of your business, so that when the time comes for you to add more clients, or you lose some clients, or they age out, or whatever happens, you actually can have more people coming in than people that come out. So that way you can have a sustainable business. So that's what a client attraction machine is, a part of that bag formula that we take people through. We help them build that irresistible offer. We put that inside of a really great funnel and help them attract sales opportunities so that it can consistently compound on itself to be able to bring in more and more clients.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm going to share just a little bit about myself. So, I was born with what's called spastic quadriplegia palsy. Simply means that I don't have enough oxygen in my legs to walk normally, buddy. And I don't know if you knew this, but October is actually National Disability Employment Awareness Month, buddy. So tell me, how do you think we can create a business climate for more folks with disabilities to succeed? And what do you think is the key for minority entrepreneurs to be successful?
For sure, man, that is such a great that's a great story and a great testimony to see you thriving in what you love to do. And I think also too, when you talk about minorities and also disabilities as well, one of the best ways I believe is through entrepreneurship, being able to have some level of ownership, being able to be able to dictate. My father would tell me all the time, never let anybody hold your fate in their hands. And being able to be the master of your domain is something that's super important. My son is also on the autism spectrum, but the one thing that I want to for him to have in his life is the ability to live life on his terms. And and the ability, and when I say that, more so like, you don't have to fit inside some box to be able to be who it is that God has called you to be. You can be exactly who you are and create things inside of that domain and be the master of that domain. When we think about Genesis 1:28, we think about, and God, when God was talking to Adam and Eve, he said, and God blessed them, and God said, be fruitful, multiply. And he said, be fruitful, multiply, and subdue the earth, have dominion. You know what I mean? So have dominion over what you are utilizing, what you have. And what's so great about what you're doing and where you are and where a lot of people can be is that we need to be masters of our own domain and being able to know that, just like Matthew 25:14-30 is something I just honestly believe everybody has something inside of them. Why? Because God told us that from the very beginning. And when it says, and God blessed them, he said, and be fruitful. To be fruitful, you have to have a seed inside you. So when God blessed them, he put a seed inside each and every one of us. And so all of us have some level of value. We just need to extract it. And being able to be masters inside of our domain is going to be something so powerful for anybody, to where you don't have to fit inside some box for other people, but you can create the box where you can be a master in it. So
Yeah, absolutely. And well, tell me, when people give you the term marketing with a purpose, what does that mean to you, to market with a purpose?
yeah, marketing with a purpose, to me, that term to me just denotes being able to, for me, I market with a purpose to serve. I market with a purpose to being able to help people reach their dreams, to help people to reach the goals that they have set for inside of their lives. And when you think about the when you think about just, I saw this meme the other day. It says, if serving is beneath you, then leadership is not is below you. Like, you're not going to be able to lead people if you can't then serve. And we learned this from Jesus Christ, where he would wash the feet of the disciples and showing them like everybody should be like the greatest in heaven is going to be the least. And what that means is that when you come to have that humility, that I'm coming here to serve, I'm coming here to serve people and serve them at the highest level, it's not always going to look like me dictating and telling people what to do. It's going to look like me serving people.
Yeah, absolutely. And well, tell me, my final question for you, buddy, has to do with your own personal and professional legacy and how you want that to be defined.
Yeah, well, my personal and professional life, I want that to be defined by somebody who, like I said from the beginning, who wanted to serve other people, who wanted to give value, to extract value, to multiply value, and to be able to serve as many people as I can as possible. I really would love to, at the end of my life, to die empty, to know that like I gave it my all, I didn't quit, that I just repeatedly and consistently was looking for ways to serve others, and as well as being able to take care of myself, because I need to take care of myself to be able to serve others, but to serve God, serve others, and to love myself as well.
Yeah, absolutely, buddy. And finally, tell me, if people want to get connected with you, what's the best way they can do that?
The best way they can do that, they can go to ahmaadmgreen.com. You also can go to howtogetabag.com, and you can be able to get our free guide where you can learn how to get a bag and secure the bag by getting high ticket clients. So if you're a coach or you're an agency owner, you can go to that website, go to my website, and you'll be able to instantly get in touch with me, which I'll be super excited about.
Fabulous. Well, Ahmaad, I Hope that you got as much value out of this conversation as I did, buddy. Your work in the space of entrepreneurship and online marketing is most appreciated, my friend. I want to wish you a good weekend and thank you for being here this afternoon. It's most appreciated.
No. Thank you for having me. This has been awesome. It's probably like the highlight of my day so far. Thank you so much, Kevin.